I got new skates. So these are the Razors SL Navies. And there's a lot of blue going on here. I want to give a huge thanks to my supporters on Patreon for helping me get the funds to buy these skates for review. So when I first got back into blading about 3 years ago, I had in my mind, I didn't know what skates to get, and I had in my mind that I was going to get some Volos, because everybody was skating Volos. I went to try on the Volos and they didn't fit my foot very well. They were very narrow. So I went to Oak City Skate Shop. They gave me a ton of different skates to try on, and I ended up getting a pair of the SL3, the Razors SL3 size 11. Those are the white ones that you see in all of my old videos, like my first few videos that I put out. As soon as the Razors Shift came out, I sold the SLs, the SL3, and I started doing the Shift, and then I started doing reviews. So I haven't skated the Razors SL since then, and I've never done a review on the Razors SL. But it's a pretty interesting skate. So to start off, this is the Razors SL. The SL, I don't know what the history is of the SL. It is a new boot from the UFS era. So it's not one of the older style raised heel boots. This is a flat boot. So the bottom of the sole is completely flat. It has an internal shock absorber, just like the Solomon, just like the Cyrus, just like the Seven, just like the Seba, where the foot, if you put your foot in the skate by itself, it would be completely flat. But they have this little shock absorber in the back that raises your heel up, gives you that natural forward lean, and it really helps when you're skating gaps, when you're skating over rougher terrain with the heel movement. It cushions your heels when you're skating. So the skate comes with a stock liner. I've heard really bad things about the liner, to be honest. I'm going to reserve judgment until I skate them, but these are just standard liners. The liners that came with my Razors Shift a few years back were pretty good. I don't think these are the same quality as the liners of the Razors Shift. They're probably the same as that came with the SL3. That is fine. I mean, most people aren't going to care. But I think if you were to look at getting anything, maybe upgrading that liner. I know a lot of people put the Rain V3 liners in here, and they look really great. Otherwise, it has a Featherlight 3 frame. Comes with the little grind nubs that nobody really likes. These wheels are a 90A 59 mil wheel. They don't look great. Again, completely honest, these look like just standard OEM stock wheels. So I'm going to be really curious what these feel like. The amazing thing about this skate is that it retails for around 220 bucks. So I got these from Oak City a couple weeks ago. 220 bucks out the door. You can't beat that price. So I'm going to be comparing this to the USD 7, comparing it to the them 908. I think if you're looking at that $200 complete range, this is pretty close to that, and I think it's going to compete really well. All right, so these are the size 10.5 skates. It is a 28.5 liner. The shell break is 10 to 11. So it's like a 44 to a 45, I think, which is a little different. Usually with aggressive skates, at least, you'll have a break of 41, 42, 43, 44. So I would be on the higher end of most shell breaks. In this case, I'm on the lower end, or almost right in the middle. The sizing feels okay. Maybe a little big, but not unbearably big. There's a lot more room in my toe than I am used to. That's not a huge problem yet, but I feel like it might be a problem when the liners break in. As for these liners, I've got this weird digging feeling. The tongue, like on the top part of the liner, feels like it's digging into my toes a little bit. I'm going to try to adjust it and see if I can pull it up a little bit, but it keeps sliding down and starts digging into my toes, which doesn't feel good. The ride-wise, it feels like I'm leaning forward more than normal. That's something that, it's going to take a little getting used to. The built-in shock absorber might be thicker than it needs to be. So for a USD 7, I think the shock absorber is a lot thinner. So it leans me forward, but it doesn't lean me forward so much. This feels like it's leaning me forward a lot. Like I feel like when I'm skating, I'm kind of leaning forward more than I should, which throws off a little bit of balance, for airs and such. I've been skating the USD 7s, so it's a noticeable difference between those and other skates. But, if you're used to these skates, you probably won't have a problem. If you're used to forwarded lean, like a Volo or like a Majestic 12, or what else has a good, like a rollerblade Access, geez, what year am I? Like a rollerblade New Jack, you'll probably like these. The wheels, oh my god, the wheels are really gross. They just don't feel like anything. They're very wide, very flat. I feel like I can't turn, and I'm skating anti-rocker. These are the Featherlight 3s. I think they're the size 3, which is a fairly long frame. So longer frame with anti-rocker means that you turn even less. It's that feeling that you're on the railroad tracks. You can't really get off them. But I don't like this feeling. The wheels, I think, are the big problem. They just feel squishy. They feel slippy. They feel wide. They feel cheap, All right, I'm going to try some grinds. All right, no issues with sole tricks. They feel great. No problems whatsoever. This sole is fairly wide. It's not one of the widest soles that I've skated. Like the USD Shadow is probably the widest. But I absolutely didn't have any problems locking on. Yeah, they just feel good, solid. I could feel like when I was doing my alley-oop sole, typically that's a really good trick to judge the balance and the lean. And for my alley-oop sole, I definitely felt like I was leaning forward more on my toe, which wasn't a bad thing. It made me lock more on a balance between my sole foot and my groove foot, and that let me lock on better, stronger, and slide the whole thing. I've definitely skated skates where it felt like I was leaning back, and I would get stuck with alley-oop soles. It's definitely not the case here. All right, groove tricks. Groove tricks, no problems. No problems whatsoever. These frames are designed for anti-rocker. They have a really deep groove, and that groove is angled perfectly for these skates. So when I jump on Royale, typically, I'll fall to one of two ways, right? Either I'll fall because I'll get wheel bite and I'll pull out, or I won't go low enough and I'll kind of slide on my frame, but kind of not. Here, the angle that you have to get boot down is so minimal that when you jump on, you are boot down. It felt great. I mean, really, really easy. Maybe too easy, if that's a thing. Like, I don't know, we're all old, so I don't know that too easy is really a concept anymore. If you're having fun skating, just enjoy skating. But these definitely feel like cheater skates for Royale tricks, if there was such a thing. Back Farve, back Unity, same thing. Took a little bit to get my Unity lock, but as soon as I did, I just kind of sat on it and it felt fine, like no problems whatsoever. Back Royale, I don't back Royale very well here. The run-up is very difficult for me to judge and get speed, but felt like I just locked on and just kind of sat down and I wasn't going anywhere. The angle is really, really forgiving. All right, here comes some topsides. Wish me luck. As I always do, let me preface by saying that I'm not very good at topside tricks. These felt great, absolutely great. Top acid, I mean, I feel like that's my strongest. And I mean, I locked fairly solid first try. Really locked solid. I think the boot being squishy, left and right, really helps with locking those topside tricks. I'm not super limber, and to do a really good topside trick, you got to get really low, have really good core muscles. I'm not very good at that. Kind grind, same thing. You know, I'm not very good at them, but was able to land a few. My angle is off. You know, I don't do topside tricks much. It's probably been a month since I tried a kind grind, but landed it, you know. Really weird feeling when I do my kind grind, my front foot, like my lock foot, the one that's on the groove, the inside edge, it feels like it's so low to the foot, like I can feel the grind on the inside of my foot, like an actual, like there's no distance between my foot and the ledge. It feels like I'm right on the ledge. Kind of like I would imagine the old K2 fatties were when you do Royale. Like you just feel like your Royale foot is right on that ledge because there wasn't much material separating it. I feel like my foot is right on that ledge when I do the kind grind. So Razors SLs, they're pretty good skates for $200, $220. Things I don't like, the liner really is bugging me. I've got one that's pinching into my ankle, one that's jamming into my toes. That tongue is just a problem. I feel like the rest of the liner's okay, but that tongue is an issue. The wheels need fixing. I'm not a huge fan of flat wheels, but maybe they're okay for you. They feel really sluggish though. Like I'm skating really slow. I don't know if it's the wheels or the bearings, but definitely I would upgrade. First I would upgrade the wheels and see if that makes a difference, and then upgrade the bearings because they need some help. Positives though, I mean, they feel great. I locked every sole that I tried. I don't think I missed a single one. And Royale, same thing. Didn't miss a single one. So from a consistency perspective, these are amazing skates. I think they'd be really good for beginners. If you were just starting out and you wanted to get a pair of aggressive skates, $220 isn't too bad, and these are pretty high quality skates for what you get. I think again, you know, a few things that kind of bug me, but they might not bug you. I would upgrade the wheels, and I'd look into fixing the liner somehow. But other than that, these are pretty solid. So I'm going to skate these over the next month. I'm going to try a bunch of different setups. I'm going to try a bunch of different situations, and full review probably beginning of next month, November. Anyway, hope everybody has a great week, and see you next time.